Sympathetic is a song I think about hiding your feelings, and maybe that's all that mask stuff we were talking about. Because there's such an empty feeling that I get from that song too. You know, that's
it's it's one of those. It's one of those songs that's like. Yeah, all this stuff is introspective. You know, people can talk shit about me and say, you know, oh wow, you know, grungy, blah blah blah, bullshit. It's like, at least I'm being honest. At least I'm not writing something about, you know, getting laid or fucking strippers or lowest common denominator. You know what I mean?
Well, you'd probably have many more hits if you would do that and get. I mean, do you think about that when you're writing lyrics too? Is how you need to say, because I think you kind of are trying to purge a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
And almost be therapeutic. But some point in time, like, you know, when the record company guy walks in and says, I need a hit song, or gal, I need a hit song, Shaun. Well, okay, maybe I'll write about strippers and getting laid in the back seat. You know, I mean.
Well, you know, that's the beauty of A&R guys is they latch onto one thing, and that's all they know. They don't have creativity. They don't have imagination.
Yeah.
They wear a fucking suit and they tell you what to do. Right. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have an A&R guy that feels like he's a songwriter. Hey, motherfucker, if you were so great, start your own goddamn band and go out there and fucking make it. Right. It's like. Don't tell me that I can't do what I'm doing. I feel like rock music has been dumbed down, and I feel like there's no reason for that. I use words like plebeian, sequestered.
I know you said when you use play. Oh, I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
And I had to look it up, by the way. I did have to. I had to.
Well, you know, I'm kind of an English nerd, man, and it's. I feel like there's nothing wrong with a fan. I actually had a fan that's been a fan of ours for 10 years.
Right.
And she was like, man, I have to look up your lyrics sometimes. You know, when I wrote sublimation into country song, Troy looked at me and said, that's not even a real word. I was like, look it up, motherfucker.
Dude,
it's a real word.
I actually know that one. Yeah.
You know.
Well, thank you for doing that. My wife, the teacher, is mighty pleased for that, I'm sure, when she hears this. So
again, I feel like you know, we have this pedestal. There's no reason to dumb it down and pretend that people are stupid. I think people are smarter than we give them credit for, if they want to be. I think there's a massive drive towards materialism and commercialism and getting on a fucking reality show right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like ultimately, people are. Again, my hopeful side is that people still are good people.
Well, you know, I interviewed Johnny Resnick of the Goo Goo Dolls, and I said, dude, you ended up being a judge for, you know, some talent show, and he went, I couldn't turn down the money. You know, it's just like it was the best, most honest answer ever. You know what I mean? Because it was just so beautiful. Because he's like, dude, I couldn't turn it down. They wait. So I expect to see you on a talent show in a few years, brother.
Fuck no, dude.
Yeah. I'm gonna play it back for you.
No, if it had integrity and it was an honestly, you know, hunting down real talent instead of karaoke stars,
yeah,
I might think about it. But it's like I just don't. I don't have the right to judge people like that, man.
Yeah.
Who the fuck am I to judge?
Hey, let me tell you the song that when I decided. Let me tell you the song when I knew I had to talk to you. Was Love Her. I thought, I don't know who you wrote it about. I have no idea, but you found a level of what somebody else is thinking that people don't talk about, you know, about this type of person.
That started with a girlfriend I had that told me she used to be a prostitute. And I was like, wow, that's cool. When? She's like, when I was 12. I'm like, holy shit, dude. She's like, yeah, guys would fuck me on pool tables, and she was a rich kid. Mm-hmm. So I wrote it in that context, but since then I've seen that it happens all the time. And the context can shift, but still. I mean, think about it. If you were a beautiful woman, you can get anything out of this world that you want. Yeah. And that's sad, because you have no talent other than your parents that fucked were pretty. You know what I'm saying? So there's really nothing beyond that, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I wrote the song a long time ago, and I don't think anything's changed.
From it, I think it's just amazing how people make it through this world. Your story, maybe her story, how you decide to get up in the morning and put your feet on the floor.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks, man. What I believe is an honest, something that I strive to live my life by is nothing like the next person. It's like, I can't force my ideals on somebody else.
Right.
But I certainly have experienced other people's ideals a lot.
Yeah. Is Sold Me a song to yourself more than anybody else? Because that's where I came with my first question, with what's wrong with me. Mm-hmm.
It's to all those failed relationships when I wasn't good enough, when the girl would end up fucking somebody else, sometimes numerous others, and that's why I was like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? I mean, should I start being an asshole? Should I start smacking you around? Because like girls will stay with a guy for fucking 20 years that beats her up, but you be the nice guy.
Yeah.
You be the guy that comes in after 3 or 4 or 5 or 20 abusive relationships, and you're the nice guy, and suddenly you're the prick. I'm like, really? Why? And then they sell you up the river, man. They go back to those pricks, and they go back to those assholes that beat the shit out of them. And I'm like, well, I guess it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, well, if there was only a screening process out there to go, this is how it's going to be in 3 months or 3 years or whatever, I mean, but that's why we have to take risks, because I guess love's worth it when we find real love.
A risk is beautiful, man.
Yeah,
it's a vulnerable. It's a precipice. You can stand on that precipice and you look down, you look off the cliff, and you go, either I'm going to take this fucking leap and at least risk feeling something and being hurt, or I'm going to be I'm the guy that's backing up the whole time, and I was that guy for years, and that's no place I want to be anymore.
Cigarettes. I guess it's a song about trying to be yourself and stay strong. The stuff that you were just talking about maybe is following what you know is right, I guess, right? That voice that's inside of you, whether it's God or whatever it is, that you damn well know this is probably the path I should be going down. Yeah.
And being told what to do all along the way. Like, again, somebody telling you, okay, well, we like you for who you are, but if you can change everything about yourself, that's what we're going for here.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make any sense to me. It's inane.
But it's not every message, but so many messages are out there, whether it is people that you're working for or with, but it's also all the media that's screaming at you.
Yeah.
Drink this beer, get laid more.
Yeah. Use this deodorant and girls will fuck you.
Yeah. It's just crazy to me, and that's where I go. That's where I hope the magic and music will get into somebody and go, like cigarettes, and go, something has to, I guess, repower us when we're on that edge of, okay, I'm just going to cave in. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
And
popular music is a farce. It's a facade. It's I'm happy all the time. Bullshit. Yeah. The only happy people are kids and mentally deficient people. I'm sorry, because there is no way you can say honestly that you're happy all the time.
Yeah.
But people live in this world, man, and like, I just feel like music has to have more substance. It needs to, and I will die by that philosophy. I will never ever write a song about getting my dick sucked or fucking somebody.
Yeah.
I wrote a song called "Fuck Me Like You Hate Me," but that was because it's a metaphor for, yes, I'm in a shitty relationship, but at least when we fucking, it was fun, right? When we get down to that part of it, it's good. So you stay with somebody because you know you get your rocks off really well, and that's pathetic. And I've been pathetic many times in my life.
Yeah, that's well, you're just a man, and sometimes I wish sometimes I almost blame it on that, right? Well, I'm just a man, so. I mean, just it's like I can almost write it off for that, but there's so much.
I'm also quite primal, man. It's like I have the one side of me that is who I am, and the other side is a primal side, and you walk that fine line between what would it be, intelligence and primality, and finding that balance is a tough thing, but when you do, it's beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what we're searching for, right?
Well, and ultimately, we just want to be happy, right? We just want something. We just want to go home and go, fuck yeah, I'm home, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, happy. I want to find meaning in life because not everything that's meaningful is not necessarily happy. I think I've determined, at least at this point.
Well, is there meaning to life? I mean, I've heard the theories many times, but I don't think there is. I think really what it is every person's own, perception of meaning is different, and if you can chase that goal, that's what is, like my mother, my mom worked 20 years in a job she fucking hated.
Yeah.
And she's like, man, whatever you do, don't do that, but she was earning money, and she was having a good life, and that never made her happy. So it's not about money. It's not about all that. It's nice to have all these things, but and it's a cliche. It's a fucking cliche. You can't say. I'm not saying anything new, but it's not about money for me. It's not about that. It's about when I go home. I go home to the best person in my world, the person that makes me feel whole and complete, and then I can wake up next to every morning and go, "Thank God you're still here."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
That's
right.
That's exactly what I said to my wife this morning. It's like,
I don't know why you're still here.
You're laying next to me. Thank you, God. What a good day.
And that's my goal.
Yeah, it's funny. Hey, back into parenting on the song "Given," maybe. And by the way, loved you that you used the word, and I can't pronounce it because I looked it up. But now is it Winu?
Ennui.
It's ennui.
It's French. It's ennui. I pronounce it ennui.
Okay.
But it means boredom.
Right, exactly.
And
but I thought you were writing about the bad parenting in life there with that. So again, getting more out of it.
Yeah, a lot of my songs are just they take from many facets of my life, and I sort of combine them. There's usually one sort of global theme. But I like to keep it as universal as possible because I want people to have their own interpretations. I don't want to tell you what songs are about necessarily because then you know what they're about, and then it loses. Like for me, songs I love, I don't know what the fuck they mean.
Right.
I know what they mean to me.
Right. Off that Carmen Effect record too was a song called "The Gift." I love it when you write about this sort of feeling. I'll call it worthless.
Yeah.
But again, right in there, I think is wanting to connect with something that we can't even touch. We don't even know what we want to connect with. And maybe that's where the faith comes in. Maybe that's where I don't know because I can't touch the love between my wife and I.
Yeah.
But
it's there.
But it's there.
It's not tangible.
I feel it.
So that's faith. Right?
Yeah, right.
That would be one example of faith. It's an intangible feeling of connection. And, that song, it's weird. That song has resonated with so many people, and it means so much to me on so many levels that, I never really talk about it because I don't want people to know what the gift is. I feel like the gift should be whatever people feel it should be. You know what I'm saying?
I'm out of a reason. I'm sorry. And I'm out of reason to believe in me. And I'm out of trying to get by. And then I jump to hold me now. I need to feel complete, like I matter to the one I need. Yeah, that's
really
powerful.
That ultimately is the gist of the song.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought so. Great lyrics too in World Falls Away with I don't need pills when I have drugs like you. Nice job, brother.
I don't need friends when I have foes like you.
Exactly. But more standing up for yourself stuff, right? And deciding you got to walk away from something once in a while.
Well, yeah. A lot of these things it's me deciphering something, analyzing it, and then in the chorus summing it up. You know what I mean? I mean, if people just listen to songs, you know, just listen to the lyrics, and just because these are real things that I'm writing about. These aren't like, okay, cool, I'm on the dance floor, I'm shaking my ass, apple bottom jeans, whatever the fuck it is. It's like this is real stuff. It's like they come from hard knocks, man.
The song before that is Never Leave, so I'm just going to take the two and ask you. Well, like in Never Leave, I find it's amazing how much power that people have over us. When your relationships have ended, have you walked away from them?
No. We never can. Well, it depends on how it ended. If you were the one who ended the relationship, yeah, it's easier. It's far easier to walk away. But if the relationship was ended before you were ready for it to end, right, you hold those attachments for the rest of your life. You really do.
Right. Back into what's wrong with me, blah blah blah. Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? Seriously. Yeah. Right.
I don't really like myself very much, man.
Plastic Man, you're your own worst enemy in there, right?
That was completely geared towards this lifestyle of us being in dollar signs instead of people. And you know, tie me up with a bow and flowers. It was just because fuck all I am to you right now is a product. I'm a can of soup that you're trying to sell. You're trying to shift units, make me sound delicious, make me sound fucking wholesome.
Again, another reason that when you put your head on the pillow, because I've thought about that a lot. I've interviewed a lot of people, right? And at the end of the day, there are times when I get a record in, and I kind of go, I don't hear it, I don't know what's going on, and I don't have time for it because I want to go to my kids' games. Mm-hmm. I've got to prepare for my Seether interview.
Well, life happens.
And all of a sudden, that becomes a product, and I feel bad about it. I mean, I almost take it personally, like, wait a minute. But at the end of the day, right, we only have so much time in the day.
Well, but you can't love everything.
I know you can't, but I don't want to treat it like a product either. You know what I mean?
True.
Because if I don't like your music, I still like you. But I don't get to know that unless I like your music and somebody says.
But you have the luxury of actually meeting people being behind the music. Like right. I mean, shit. There are albums out there that I hate. I never met the person behind it. Right. And there are albums that I love, and I also haven't met the person behind that either. But it's again, faith. And what I'm hearing is what I want it to be. Yeah. And sometimes something doesn't resonate with me, so it's cool. I let it go. Yeah. Can I pee? Can I go pee?
Yeah, sure. Go. I've interviewed Jacoby. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, Kobe's cool.
Yeah. He's totally embracing. It's like, you know what? I know I need to kick my ass. So he's run like 4 or 5 miles a day. He's like, I know my window is only open for so long in this world, right? So I need to kick ass while I can.
Well, Kobe's like a new puppy. He's got a bunch of energy.
He does, doesn't he?
And it just doesn't stop. I'm like, dude,
well,
seriously,
when I ask him about
sit the fuck down.
I love the guy because they'll ask him about a song. Oh yeah, man, he's kind of talking. He's like moving like this. I'm like, hold the microphone.
Dude, we played him my new album, and he was like this. He's like, fuck yeah! I'm like, dude, seriously?
Don't you love that though?
That guy. I must be honest.
I think he's genuine.
He is. He's the one guy in this world that I've met in a band that has genuine enthusiasm for what he's experiencing right now, and that's hard to find. It's really hard to find.
Right, because I think I don't know how he is without a microphone in front of his face per se.
Oh, he's worse. But he's fucking. He's worse. You think he's energetic on stage? He's fucking 10 times worse off stage.
But he doesn't seem cynical. That's what I'm saying. I mean, because he's been up and down with drinking too, right? I mean, he's been,
and he struggles with that too, man. Like he'll drink every once in a while. Yep. And you know what he told me one night? Actually, right before my brother died, the night before my brother died. we would play with Papa Roach, and I was like, "You don't drink anymore?" He's like, "Man, here's why I don't drink. When I drink, my standards are down here. When I'm sober, my standards are up here." And he's like, "I'd rather stay up there."
Yeah.
And
That's
now
a good reason.
I looked at him, I was like, "That's amazing." Great philosophy.
And by the way, and when you're sober, that's what you think. Now, when you're drinking again, you go, "Yeah, my standards are bad."
The difference between Jacoby and I is he's confident when he's sober. I'm not. I've played shows sober, and I've become super like tonight. I started sober, and by the end of it, I had a couple of drinks, and I was more extroverted. But I'm really, I'm really introspective.
It's an interesting thing, confidence, isn't it? Because that's what we want. I mean, we talked about makeup earlier, but we want to walk around with our chest out. We want people to think that we got our shit together.
Nobody
right?
does. Yeah. It's
and it took a couple drinks does it for you. I'm like going, that's okay, right? But if you decide that you got to keep going because you,
that's a problem.
You don't feel normal. As I think the way that a couple guys have said to me, it's like you want to feel normal, so you keep going, and all of a sudden you're over the edge.
And the edge comes at you faster than you know, man.
Yeah, right, dude.
You start off. I start off an hour and 15 minutes before every show. I have a vodka cocktail, and then I have two before I've gone on stage, and that's just to make me feel like I can do this.
Yeah. I think again another thing that I found throughout a lot of what's going on is trying to stay away from, I'll say the negative, but maybe it's negative people. But I'll sort of make it the negative thing, whether it's the forces in the business or people in your life or whatever. But I think that's why you write things like "Fake It" and many other songs. But that particular one, I think,
well,
those people out there that want to rape you.
It's funny when Nirvana wrote "Rape Me," everyone was like, "Wow, fuck that guy." It's like, listen to the lyrics. You're not listening to what he's saying. That's really, we do get raped. We get fucking sodomized. We get bent over on a daily basis. We get told what to do. I play in a fucking band because I don't want to be told what to do. But every day I wake up with a list. Like today, I fucked up. I got too drunk to be here at 4 p.m. So now we're doing this now, right? And I'm never going to claim professional as my straight. As one of my strongest traits. But we get told what to do, and sometimes, man, some days you just go fuck you, because it's supposed to be rock and roll, right? It's supposed to be like,
and it's supposed to be your life.
It's not my life. It hasn't been my life in 10 years, bro. It's if I fuck up, nobody else gets paid. I have a lot of people that rely on me, and hey, dude.
Does that feel like it's too much to carry sometimes?
Fuck yeah, it does. One person has to carry all that? Come on, man. Fuck. Let's be honest. Like, without being a dick again. Singers aren't replaceable. Unless you fucking... Even Van Halen knows that.
Right.
Everyone wants to talk to me. Everyone wants to hear what I have to say because I'm the one that I'm the mouthpiece. Well, because this is you hear my life, and people then think that I'm way more interesting than the other guys. Actually, no, Dale's way funnier than I am.
But let's talk about dynamic just between you as friends and coworkers, if you will. Does that ever get pissy?
No.
They understand that right now, what's going on between us is part of your responsibility because of what you bring to the...
Oh, dude, they're already in their bunks fucking sleeping. Nice. It is, they understand, and those guys make a lot of money for just being my friends, really, ultimately, end of the day. But I pay them the percentages that I pay them because I trust them. And I if I was to do a fucking solo album, John and Dale would play on it. Okay. Is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, and dude, our crew, they're our boys. It's like we're a family. All we have out here is each other on the buses.
Breakdown from the same record, which I loved, by the way. I loved the title, Finding Beauty in Negative Spaces.
Thank you. I was driving back. I was living in Venice in LA, and I was driving back from the studio one day, and it just came to me. Because I felt like music is my way of saying, okay, cool, everything sucks, but I'm gonna make this pretty, you know. And hell, you can argue that my songs aren't pretty. That's fine. It's an opinion. But for me, you know, I went through a phase when I was 19 years old. I smashed my guitar. I was like, fuck this, I'm out. Music sucks. 2 years, man. I would go out and I fought. I was aggressive. I was fucking always angry. I was always unhappy. I was always just like, you know, you could look at me funny and I just swing a punch.
Seriously, you were fighting. You were
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually, for a short while, I was hanging out with a biking gang because I had no other sense of release. And then I went. There's a song on Fragile called "Empty." I was at home. Everyone was gone, and I got my mother's. At this point, she had a 38 special, and I went and grabbed her 38 special, and I had it against my head. And I was going to pull the trigger. I was like, fuck this, I'm out. This is bullshit. This world sucks. And I wrote a song called Empty. And she came home. I don't know where she was, but she came home. She found me lying on my bed with the 38 special on the pillow next to me, like pointed at my head, and an acoustic guitar on my lap. And that was probably one of the most poignant moments of my life.
Yeah.
You know, because I chose the guitar over the gun.
Mm-hmm.
So
thankfully the guitar was loaded.
Well, you say that. Some people say, fucking, you should have pulled the trigger.
Well.
You know, and fuck them.
Yeah.